Good evening, welcome to another Focus on Friday, and tonight we're going to discuss Colin MacInnes. Colin was a British novelist, and he actually defined the teenage subculture, and he studied, because he was actually fascinated by the interracial subcultures in London at the time. His most famous three writings are probably what are called the London Trilogy. That would have been The City of Spades, Absolute Beginners, and Mr. Love and Justice. And they would be the launching point for his literary career. Colin, who was born in London in 1914, did quite a few things actually in his life. In addition to being an author and a journalist and a novelist, he was part of the British Intelligence Corps during the Second World War. He worked in occupied Germany after the European armistice, but he's always going to be remembered for really deep diving into the teenage subcultures and the interracial subcultures, and a lot of that had to do with his inherent proclivities. He was openly bisexual and actually had a thing for African gentlemen in a time when homosexuality was not only discouraged, but it was actively illegal, and he was very vocal anyway. His life took him quite a few places in so far as literary circles, artist circles. He was very well read right up through his death in 1976 from esophageal cancer, and his books are only outshined by his essays, Loving Them Both, a study of bisexuality and bisexuals, which became kind of the defining standard of the sexuality of bisexuals. And he had a great life. He ended up moving in with his publisher and his publisher's wife, Fiona, towards the end of his life, and they created kind of a makeshift core family that sustained him through the end of his life, and then he was buried at sea. So very fitting for someone as diverse as himself. That is Colin MacInnes, and you all have a good night.